What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Behind the Lens podcast. And we are here with Chris Benavides. He is a wedding photographer and his stuff is next level. And I'm just going to show you these photos right here because they blow me away. We got to film a couple weddings over the years together. And I just wanted to bring him on the podcast because he's a straight talker, straight shooter, and there's no questions. And we're just going to roll into this and let's go.
All right. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? So to all the photographers out there, just talk about what you do, what value you provide for your couples, clients, so they get to know and your style of art.
Absolutely. So, well, I've been in the wedding industry for about 10 years, I would say. Value, I hope I bring value. That's a damn good question. The value I want to bring to customers is just providing great photos, providing a great memory. But I think if anything, providing great customer service, get something that a customer can say. My number one thing that I always tell every customer is that when we walk away, I want to be known as the number one vendor. And if I did that right, we're good to go. Everything else doesn't matter.
Awesome. Have you always had that? Tell me a little bit about that mindset. Where did that come on the beginning of your journey? Let's talk about that. How did you start as a photographer? Because your work right now is it's next level. I've worked with you with the colors, the gels, the framing, how you position each couple and client to what they want on their wedding. So talk about just like the journey. How did it all start?
Yeah, so believe it or not, we're going to go a little bit back. I'll try to make it fast. But before being a photographer, I blame everything. If I'm so straightforward and a little bit blunt, and even on my work, I'm very particular in how I want things. I was in retail for about 20 years of my life. I was blessed enough to be a regional manager for an automotive company. And then I became a senior sales manager executive for a Fortune 500 company, number one company, Walmart, which we all shop there. And one thing that I was taught was that when something sucks, it sucks. Mm-hmm. There's no other way of putting it. I don't believe in gray. I believe in black and white. And one of the things that was always told to me was, if you're going to do something, you better do it right. And that's where all that came from. And when I grabbed photography as a stress reliever because I felt like that's where I could let my stress go by. Because when you're in retail, nothing's good enough.
Yep.
You're great one day, the next day you suck. That's basically it is. It's a numbers game, right? So I adapted to photography. I started getting into photography, and little by little I started noticing, everybody can shoot during the day. That's pretty, it's pretty common everywhere. What can I do to separate myself from the competition? And I said, flash, I'm glad I don't have to show my first wedding in flash because damn, it sucked.
Right.
I learned the hard way, and I learned that, using flash was totally something different. But little by little, you get better at it and practice with it. And believe it or not, my models were my daughter's Barbies, teddy bears at home. I started practicing on, and little by little that started growing. And then I fell into the page of Magmot, and I learned that there's gels and you can color walls and all this. And I looked up to photographers like Christian Cardona. That's probably my top guy right now and has always been with color usage. And I said, if he can do it, why can I not do it? So I started adapting color. And basically one of the biggest things is this, man. I'm not blessed enough to shoot the biggest weddings in the world. You and I know we get some venues that sometimes are, can be a backyard, sometimes be a room where they're getting ready.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, that really pushed me to the edge of thinking, man, what can I do to make my getting ready photos, those kind of photos, or even my bride and groom photos different than just the normal, right? Because my background sucks, So that's where that push of level came in. My composition, my lighting, thanks to so many non-perfect weddings that I did really pushed me to be better, and I'm here now. And I still think a lot of my photos suck, and I think a lot of my photos still need a lot of work. I know a lot of people say, hey, they're great and all this. Well, they might be great to you, but there's a lot of opportunity to be worked on. Yeah. So that's what I'll say to that.
Nice. So, yeah, you're always striving. You're just like me, always striving to how to make your photos, how to make your, better.
Absolutely.
Because we are our worst critics. Like, we get back there it's everybody's, oh, it's a great video, it's great photos. And then you're like, man, how can we get better?
Absolutely.
And I think that comes down to, serving our clients, serving our couples, because we want the best possible outcome, because you only get one day.
Absolutely.
It's one day out of your life. And I got married this year. And same thing. It's like one day, you don't get another chance. You don't get another chance for the first look, prep. And I don't think a lot of people know how stressful it can be behind the camera when you're filming these weddings, any wedding. I don't care if it's, a multi-million-dollar wedding or a backyard wedding. It's the same, because you can't miss a moment.
Absolutely.
And filming with Chris and just seeing how he works he brings his A game 24/7.
Thanks, man.
He gets there early and he's ready to go. He's already knows what shots, he knows what gels, he's scouting out the location. And it's just phenomenal to watch, because he's a true artist that's always trying to get better with your craft. And it's amazing to see what kind of work you produce and where you're headed.
Absolutely. And I think that, one of the biggest things that I know that when I worked with you, if I worked with a couple other videographers, one of the things that I will say is that the more you and I can get along,
Yep.
you don't get in my freaking way, I don't get in your freaking way, like I
Yep.
always say, or other videographers, we're going to make everything right. But the most important thing is if every single vendor's in it for the same thing for the customer.
Ooh.
So I might say something right now that might bust some bubbles, but I'll say it, is that if one of the vendors is not thinking the same way, there's going to be a crap hole, right? And that crap hole's going to open pretty big, because I'm one of the guys that's always going to support my bride and groom. To me, I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
I had a wedding coordinator once. I went up to a wedding coordinator and said, a wedding planner, and I said, hey, the bride and groom want this, right?
Yeah.
And they're asking for this. I said, well, you can't, because there's a car parked there. I said, well, I'm going to find out where the car is and ask them to move it. She wasn't so happy, right? And as she was walking away, I said, hey, I was like just joking with her. I said, hey, happy bride, happy life,
Yep.
And she says, no, happy planner, happy life.
Ooh.
Right? Mm-hmm. So at that moment, I realized, that's when you have the wrong person on your team.
Yep.
And guess what? Chris doesn't stay quiet.
Nope.
Chris will never stay quiet, especially for a customer. So I walked right behind her as soon as we went in, and I shared my 2 cents with that wedding planner, and at the end of the night, she apologized.
Yeah.
So my thing is, and I bring that up for one reason, is that we can all go in with a great mindset.
Yep.
But everybody has to be in the same mindset. Not just you and the videographer, not just the wedding planner, not just the florist. Every single person has to worry about what the customer wants. No one gives a crap about what we want.
Yep.
It's what the customer wants. So that's why I always say, especially to every person that I work with, I say, hey, if you want things to go your way, I want my things to go your way. Man, we're not really coming to a conclusion. Ask the bride and groom what they want.
Oh, yeah.
I already know what they're going to say, but go ahead, ask them, because at the end of the day, they're happy. We're all getting great reviews.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen, right? And that's what we work for. We want our customers to be happy. But I'm glad what you said. We've worked a long time together, and we've done a lot of good things, and we've gone through a lot of them. And I just think that as long as every vendor's there and we're all there for the right reasons, everything comes out great.
Oh, yeah. And that's so true, Chris, is people don't realize when you go in the wedding, it's not about anything else except the bride and groom. And I realized this at our wedding because, I realized as being a wedding vendor, a filmmaker, but we had the greatest vending team because everything has to align. The time has to align. The photographer has to be at that place. You have ceremony has to be. If one thing goes off in the timeline, that messes up because think about this, golden hour. You need those photos. Those are the times to get the best shots usually, as a photographer, filmmaker. And if something goes off the plan, then that stretches out the back end because of if it was a planner or if it was something that people need to consider. But you said it. We're only there for the bride and the groom.
Absolutely.
Because they hired us personally. We got on a Zoom call, and that's what you do and you make their wedding film or their wedding photos the best. And some vendors, I'm going to say it too, they don't realize like, hey, it's a team effort.
Absolutely.
You know, and
100%.
you're there for just the bride and the groom and to provide the best value because nobody else, the bride and the groom paid you personally.
Yeah, and I'll give a real good tip to avoid all that, especially for everybody listening that's new and getting into photography and everything, is the more you communicate, the better.
Yep.
You know, I know it sounds so simple. We always hear over communication, you know, but the more you over communicate, the better. And I've learned that the hard way. I've never been the best at it.
Yep.
I think that sometimes I've sucked at it.
Yeah.
But definitely I can get better at it. But one of the things that I've learned for 2025, in order to be successful, you got to be brutally honest and you got to be brutally communicating all the damn time.
Yep.
And you got to be straightforward. And my second tip is stop being a yes guy, right? I think that a lot of us sometimes want to keep our customers happy and saying, yes, 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 we could do this. Yes, we could do that. Bullshit. It's not always a yes because not everything can happen that way. A lot of times you've seen me when we're out photographing and a customer says, oh, I want this background. It's so beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful, but if we shoot it right now at this time of day, it's not going to look as beautiful as you're imagining it on your head. But if you trust us and we come back at the right time,
yes,
where the sun's hitting right, not only is your video going to be great, your photos are going to be great.
Yep.
And it's not that we're trying to tell someone what to do, but we're in the best interest, again, for what? The customer.
Exactly.
Because we care about the customer. That's what we want. But yeah, so learned one of the, I heard one of my pastor's friends, he's a pastor, and he said, one of the most important things you can learn in your life is say no.
Oh,
that's a damn good one. We don't always have to say yes to be the best. As a matter of fact, our job is to do the right thing at all times. So it's okay to say no sometimes.
Oh, yeah. No, so true. And I think, too, where couples, when they hire you and you show them your photos, like we both do this is, you know, like Zoom call before we meet our couples. You do this. I do this, and we want to get to know them. What's the best for the wedding? You know, their portraits, their video, do they need vows, voiceovers, all that kind of stuff. And the thing is to communicate to them. So when you go on the wedding day, everything's basically all planned out, and you could just plug in to play as long as you have that right vendor team.
Absolutely.
And I think another thing is, too, is just when you see your albums like on Instagram and you send the couples, you know, what you do and what kind of photographs, you have different presets.
Yeah.
You have different looks for your photos.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, you know, your different styles, your different
question.
looks. Oh,
Damn, Brandon, you're good, brother.
I'm trying.
That's good, man. You're good. You're good. You're impressive. All right. So one of the things I do actually have 4 looks, 4 edits that I offer to my clients, and it's very easy. I don't have an ego problem, brother. If I had an ego problem, it'd be I edit like CH photography. This is my style. I don't care if you don't like it. This is who I am, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't care about that. Once again, I care about what my customers want.
Right.
So I'll give you a reason why all of that happened. I was hired for a D.C. wedding about 5 years ago. Flew into D.C., a wonderful couple, beautiful bride, great looking guy. I mean, you had the perfect model set for this wedding. It was awesome. It was a great wedding. And they say, hey, come to dinner with us the night before their wedding. I was like, yeah, it was great, awesome. They're, hey, while we're eating, they're like, you know, Chris, we love you. You're awesome.
Yeah.
You know, our photos were great at the desert at Red Rock, but we have a question for you. I'm like, yeah. They slide their phone.
Yeah.
And it's all light and airy photos.
Right.
I'm like, my God, everything's blowing out, right? Sorry, light and airy photographers. I do it too now, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just so light and airy. You know, it's a look, and it's a nice look. It's what people want. That's awesome. So I asked them straightforward. I said, are you showing me these photos because you like the poses, or is it because you like the edit?
Yeah.
They're like, well, we like the edit. Can you edit like this? I said, damn. I go, I normally don't, but guess what? I can manipulate that. I can manipulate those colors. I know exactly what to do. That's fine. So then I did it.
Yeah.
I came back to Vegas. I edited their photos. They fell in love with their photos, and it was awesome. So then, as I was laying down in bed one day, I started to think, how many customers have I lost because I'm stubborn to one edit,
Oh,
right?
great question.
So then I multiplied that by the thousands, right, of dollars that you make per your wedding that you sell, right? Then I realized, well, that's why I don't have a Ferrari. No, I'm just joking. So, no, it just opened my eyes to think, guys, and this is one of the important things, especially for all the new photographers. Don't limit yourself.
Yeah.
Don't stop growing. And I always say, you have to remember one thing. Our job, my job as a father, more than anything, my number one job is I am a husband.
Yep.
I am a father. I am a provider.
Yeah.
My job is to provide for my family. My family will never starve as long as I'm alive.
Right.
Amen to that, right?
Praise the Lord.
And I praise the Lord for that every day. So my job is to create new ways to bring revenue.
Yep.
And as long as it's something positive to the bottom line number,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. And that's what I do. So my thing is now is my customers get to choose. So instead of having only one source of customer, I have 4 sources of customers now that come in from different, ways of coming and seeing things. And if another customer hits me tomorrow and says, can you edit like this? Yes, I can. Go ahead. Hit me up. I can do it.
Right.
So that's the way we work. That's the way we do it. And, one of the things I'll tell you, too, is that when you open your mind in photographing in so many different ways, you open up a can of impossibilities, man. There's so many things you start learning about yourself. You start thinking, man, you don't need flash for everything.
Exactly.
I'm missing these moments because all I'm looking is for, like, when I'm CH, you know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
Gels, flash, I'm thinking the perfect lighting and blah, 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 and all this. However, now recently, and I don't want to bust bubbles because we haven't got to what are you doing for 2025, but just to give you those grips, it's going to change up a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm more into, right now, my biggest thing is capturing emotions.
Nice.
That is, you're going to see a post that's going to be coming up pretty soon on my page. And it's all emotions, bro. I want you to look at a photograph now and, I'm going to still do my flash and everything, what I'm known for. I'm not going to stop doing that. But more than anything, I want you to look at a photograph and really, like, have a little hard time to swallow because I caught a moment that's, but you got to be in there. So, that's how that came up, brother.
Oh, man, that's incredible. And I think that's another thing that we've done here, too, is, like, I think a lot of photographers and a lot of filmmakers, videographers, they struggle with the business side.
Absolutely.
And we've seen it because, hey, they pick up a camera, they're doing it for like a year, and then they just disappear. And it's so important to basically, if you have a niche, is to learn every aspect.
Absolutely.
As well, like on the filmmaking side, weddings, and then, hey, let's do corporate, and then let's add drone. So if they're a filmmaker or any photographers out there, you got to think about how are you going to provide the most value.
Absolutely.
So you can always sell something to your clients that need something.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you.
And I think a lot of people too, they get in their ways, but you just got to be an open book. And you look at the people that are successful, it's because they never stay in one lane.
Yeah,
they're always looking to grow and, elevate others around them, elevate their work. Just like you said, for 2025, you want to capture those raw emotions.
Absolutely.
That's huge. You're already thinking about how you're going to shoot for next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a level. But man, Chris, that's incredible. Can you talk about, because you're a businessman, you know what it takes. If there's a photographer or filmmaker out there, what would you recommend?
Damn, you read my mind, dude.
For the business. Really?
This Brandon is a mind reader. He is a mind reader. Okay, I'm convinced, brother. You have a gift.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, that was a good one. So look, I'm glad you asked that question because I wish that I could have heard this before I started.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's going to be 3, but I'm just going to give you a list.
Okay.
And hopefully everybody can, hear it. Number 1, embrace your haters.
Ooh.
Starting with yourself. Because 80% of your damn problems in front of a mirror, right?
Yep.
You doubt yourself. You think you suck. Yeah, you do suck. I'm telling you right now, you're going to suck probably the first couple of shoots you do, maybe even the first year, you're going to suck.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yep.
However, the more you do it, the less you suck.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about everything. You already are at the bottom. The only way is up, right? And I once heard this, and it always sticks to me, is remember, if you're going to fall, fall forward, not back. That was by Denzel Washington, by the way. It's a great way of thinking. That's number one. Number two, grab yourself 3 couples. It could be family members, friends, maybe go to church, whatever. But what I did was I would walk them. I remember the first couple, I was at a Starbucks. I saw a very good-looking girl, a very good-looking dude. It's like, damn, that would make a great photograph, right? Because I was photographing landscapes, and I wanted to start photographing people. I went up to them. I said, man, you are great-looking people. Right. And you would make amazing photos. Can I capture your photos, and can I capture your loving camera? Man. Yeah, sure. I barely started, but it doesn't matter. Let's go. Right. That was my first gig. Okay. And I did that 2 more times. And guess what? I posted that up, and that's how I made money. Yeah. Right. Now, another one is that reach out to people that are already doing it. Right. Right. I'm going to tell you, very straightforward. Yep. There's going to be a lot of people that hate you because they don't want you to take their job away. Yep. There's a lot of people that don't want to train you because they're scared you're going to take over them. But I'm going to tell you this. The people that are scared and say no to you probably suck at what they do. Because if you didn't suck at what you do, you should never be scared. Right. Because I'm going to tell you this, and I'll tell you this very brutal for all the brand new photographers here, is if you reach out to me, you can work for me. I don't mind showing you, teaching you, because you'll never be me. That's just the bottom line. And I'm never going to be you. Exactly. Because my angle is so much different than your angle. My height is different. My eyes are different. Oh, yeah. I might like wide shots. You might like tight shots. But you'll never be me. And I'll never be you. Exactly. So that's one thing. So I don't mind teaching anybody. So if you want to work, call me up. I got a lot of work. So that's for sure. The next thing I would tell you is the money you make in the beginning, don't be dumb and spend it right away. Yep. I would take that money and reinvest it into advertising. Yeah. So what does this mean is at the same time that you have a job going on, a full-time job, do this as a side gig. Never leave your second gig until you have 6 months worth of pay for your whole month. Then you can get out of your full-time job and start doing this full-time. Oh, yeah. Because I'm going to tell you, there's going to be months that are going to be scary. You're not going to get calls. It's going to freak you out. What's going on? It's the economy, whatever, elections, whatever's going on. But that's what I would do, right? And the last thing that I would do is don't focus on making people in the wedding industry happy. Nope. Focus on making your customers happy. Ooh, gold. That is the number one thing I could tell you. Because if you're going to walk away thinking, oh, I'm going to do this for this person and they're going to help. No, it doesn't work that way. You're going to get flipped off for the next guy that comes and scratches the back better than you. Yep. If someone comes and scratches that back better than you, you're out. Next person. But if your work is good, people come to you all the time. Because your work is good. It speaks for itself. Exactly. So, and on top of all that, regardless if I could say it on this podcast or not, I'm going to say it, put God first, man. That's the number one rule. If you put everything else that I told you, you're golden, baby. Yeah, he's the number one reason. Like, it's just putting God first is the reason why I picked up a camera in the first place. Absolutely. You know, went to college and never picked up a camera and went to church, boom, and then it's just like, wow. There you go. God's plan. You never know what he's going to have in store for your life. Absolutely. And it's just like, that's the number one thing. Absolutely. And it's just incredible just to have that. But I think that was great value right there. And I'm just thinking like for, photographers and videographers, you guys do that. And I think a lot of people in this industry they do get scared of, oh my gosh, there's enough business. I heard this from one of my mentors one time. He said, in Las Vegas, there is enough business if there was 100 of you. So I'll give you a stat. Yeah. If you Google this, everybody on this call, if you Google this, I'm going to give you a random estimation, but I'm pretty accurate. I think it's between 150 to 300 weddings a day in Vegas. People get married. Yeah. So there's elopements. Yep. Okay, out of 300 people, let's say that 50% are not even going to think about spending a dime on their photos because they have an iPhone, right? People believe iPhones can do miracles. Great for them. Then you have the other 50%. Yep. So let's say we're left off with another 100 people. Yeah. Well, out of those 100 people, maybe a quarter of them are
Yep.
going to say, you know what, I really want to spend some money, maybe an hour or 2 hour shoot. And then 5 out of those 25 are
Yep.
going to want something pretty good.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So there's no excuse.
True.
Okay? And that's not talking family sessions that people want. That's not talking about engagement sessions people want, proposals that people want, maternity sessions, baby showers, kids photography because they're going to have a birthday.
Yep.
There's so much stuff to do. I've always said one thing, and I tell my wife this. She's like, babe, we were talking about it the last time, and I was like, man, things are a bit, slow. She's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to work harder.
Oh,
That's what I'm going to do.
yes.
Okay? So there's a big difference, guys, how you see things in life is when things suck, go look at the mirror. That's the problem.
Yep.
It's you. It's your perception. It's your way of seeing things. You can change it, but you got to work, man. You
Yes.
got to work. Guess what? There's no Sunday night football. I haven't seen football. I don't have time for TV. People say, Chris, did you watch the new Netflix? Dude, if you would invest the time that you invest in Netflix, you'd be a damn millionaire.
100%.
Okay, you would have money. So I hate when people say, Chris, you're so lucky to have what? No, I'm not lucky.
You work hard.
I've worked very hard to be where I'm at. And thanks to my parents that I learned that from my dad and my mom. They worked for many years, man. Over 30-some years they worked in their jobs. And every day they worked, Monday through Friday. So there was never an excuse. My mom would get home, cook, clean. My dad would get home, cut the grass after 8-hour shift. So if they could do it, brother, I could do it.
Right.
Right? So there's no excuse. But, yeah, I thought I would say that and chime in. There's a lot of work in Vegas.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you want to start off, I'm willing to help you guys out. Give me a call.
Oh, yeah. And just, where would be a good, we'll leave all the comments and where they can,
Absolutely.
contact you in the comments below. But just talk about, so we know the wedding side, and that's the thing. There's enough business to go around in the city. And you're just talking weddings, family, elopements. Then you get into corporate and all that other stuff.
That's your niche, buddy.
Yeah,
that's you, baby.
That's another topic for another day. But let's talk about the new chapter. You're going to start, brand deals, companies that you are working with, brand ambassadors. These companies are reaching out to you.
Absolutely.
How did that start, and what value are you providing them? How did that whole journey start?
So I have a couple of companies that I'm working for this year in 2025. It's going to be announced. It's a total of 4 of them.
Yeah.
So being an ambassador for them and everything. And I've been extremely blessed.
Right.
I never thought I'd be in that level to ever even represent a company or anything. But thank God it's happened. God's great and everything. But I would say that for one of the ones that I'm going to be in, I have to give thanks to another photographer, and her name's Amber.
Nice.
And she as soon as I met her, she's a great photographer, great person. And she believed in me and put in a good word for me. And then all of a sudden that company called. But I can't take that company that I'm going to announce in a couple of weeks under my title and be like, oh, that was all me. No, I'm not one of those, man. I'm very straight and honest. That one came from her. And then the other 3 is just working hard, man. Showing what you do day in and day out. My photos have been, really driving a lot of engagement.
Right.
Okay, so I'm very grateful for that. And companies see that.
Yeah.
You use their product to create the photo, right? You create I use a lot of gels, so you already know who. I'm not gonna say, but you already know who looks for gels, and then soft boxes that I use all the time.
Yep.
There's a couple of companies out there for soft boxes, and bags that we use too. So there's a couple of things of that too. So, I would say that one of the biggest things when it comes to that is you just got to keep building your brand. I think you talk a lot about that on your. I've seen your reels and everything, and you talk a lot about branding and everything. And you know what? Like I told you, what we were talking about this the last time is sometimes we just got to do things that we hate to do.
Yep.
It's not about what you want to do. Like me, I hate posting.
Yeah.
Like I just hate it. I'll be honest. I hate posting.
Yeah.
I hate knowing that I have to put myself in front of a camera. Now people I have to be live because you got to put yourself out there.
Right.
You got to do a recording and all this. Like, it's just the most annoying thing to me.
Yeah.
I hate it with a passion.
Yeah.
I admire you. I admire Mario from Mizo.
Right.
He puts
Oh,
himself
yeah.
in front of the camera. There's a couple of guys, Kaneko,
Oh, yeah.
you know, Trevor. He does a great job too. You guys are people that I look up to because I say, man, those guys have guts. Like, you guys have, wow. Like, I was the first time on the camera 2 weeks ago, and I'm not going to lie to you, I had some ice cubes in my hand because I kept rubbing them on my knees because of how nervous I was getting. You know,
man.
It's like, God, these guys, I don't know how the hell you guys do it. And it's just things that I'm not comfortable with. But being uncomfortable is what makes you grow.
Yes.
That is what's going to make me succeed for 2025. And one of the things, like I told you, in 2025 that's going to change, especially in my photography, now that we talked about this ambassador stuff, I'll talk a little bit about CH, is that I'm real into moments right now. Right. I don't know what snapped up here. I don't know what went on, but I'm talking about really being in the moment. Yeah. I'm talking a lens being about 3 feet away from your face, that kind of emotions. Yeah. And the way I'm capturing, I want to record, I want to do a little recording of how I'm doing that, right. But I'm getting up and personal for personal feelings like that now.
Nice.
I'm not worried about the light. I'm not worried. I'm worried about gesture, 100%. It's all that. And, you know, that's where my 2025 mindset is right now for photos. I think that's where I'm going. And my biggest thing is, you know, for 2025 is, we're seeing a lot of blurry photos, if you've noticed.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, my 2-year, my little 1-year-old, almost gonna be 2, can be a photographer, and his photos would be considered great right now.
Right.
But I mean, in all reality, right? I want to find a way to stick to what I want to stick to, and adapt an engagement on what I want to adapt to.
Right.
Because we already know how phases work.
Yeah.
Right? 2 years ago, it was the orange. Everything looked orange.
Yep.
As long as everything was orange. The night was orange. The day was orange. Everything was orange. Exactly. Mama's orange. Daddy's orange. Everybody's orange. Yeah. You know? So, shoot. Yeah, it was amazing. It was like, damn, even my blue Kool-Aid is orange on this photo. So then that changed, and I really, you know, came to stop to think that, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, we turn in what the customers want. We've talked about that. But also at the same time, don't lose your essence of who you are. Yeah. And where you want to take your company. Yep. So 2025, I'll mark it here on your podcast, is that a lot of emotions, baby. A lot of photos are going to be based off of emotion. I'm going to have a lot of lighting's not going anywhere, but I'm just going to add a lot of more emotion. I'm going to be more intuitive in. I'll tell you this much. I shoot on an average, on a regular, normal wedding day, I would say about 3,000, 4,000 frames. Okay. It's probably going to 9,000 now a day.
Nice.
I'm not stopping triggering.
Yeah.
I'm capturing.
Right.
No customers. I'm not turning you in 9,000 photos. But I have more photos that are going to be a little bit more engaging to customers. Right. A little bit more. They're going to be like, damn, he got that moment. Yeah, I got that moment. Mm-hmm. So that's what it's going to be.
Oh, that's huge. And, you know, it's so cool. But, man, Chris, like, for that, we talked all the value. We talked about where you're headed. Where do you see, you know, your brand, and why in front of the camera? Yeah. Like, you know, what's that? Because I think last year, aren't you an ambassador for a new, like, a coaching program coming up?
Yeah, like, it is a new coaching program. I can't say it yet till new January. I'll say the name of it, so we got to go back on January. But yeah, it is. And I'm doing right now, guys, basically, so why in front of the camera? Because I have to. Yep. These companies are requiring videos. Yeah. They're requiring me how you shot it and how you did this. Yeah. And they show, explain. So I got to be in front of the camera. Right. However, one of the things that I guess I said I had to do it, number one, they had to tell me that I got to get it done if I want to be part of it. But number two, almost every wedding that I've ever gone to, someone in either the wedding party, the groom, the bride, somebody says, Chris, you'd be a great comedian. I always hear that at every wedding.
Yeah.
Every wedding I go to, everybody tells me you'd be great in front of the camera, dude.
Right.
You'd make people laugh.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't believe that. You know, it's like they say, you never see something in yourself
Yep.
that other people see. So I took that into heart and I said, if people are telling me this over and over
Yes.
again, you know, it's time. And, you know, I prayed about it, man. Believe it or
Right.
not, my wife is a big prayer. I have
Yeah.
a big, I have my godly woman that
Yeah.
loves to
Support
pray,
ya.
and I love my wife for that. And we, you know, I prayed about it, and I said, God, you know, what is it that, you know, that I got to do? And I just keep hearing you got to get in front of the camera whether you like it or not. So I
Yeah.
just got to do it. So yeah, so that's where 2025 is going to be. I'm planning to do something in 2025 where it's going to be very consistent basis,
Nice.
where I'll be a lot more. Once again, that's something you and everybody that I mentioned does.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I'm glad that I have something to look up to.
Right.
You know, some examples to show me,
Oh, yeah.
you know, how the DJ mics to use. I bought my DJ mics
Let's
now. I
go.
have them.
There it
Let's
is.
go with those. So I got that already. I'm starting to learn video, how to
Yeah.
record video on my camera.
Nice.
Right now I've only been using the phone, but we did the camera
Yeah.
one. But we're learning little by little, you
Right.
know. But yeah, that's why. So why am I in front of the camera? To grow.
That's it. And I think that's anybody's journey. Like me looking back a couple years ago, and I'm just like, man, I suck in front of the camera. This is it. But you got to do it to grow, because the amount of opportunities now, just being in front of the camera, it's just sometimes I look back and I go, how did I get here? It's because I decided to take that leap of faith, put it in God, and say, I never wanted to be in front of the camera either. Growing up, I had a speech impediment and this and that. I couldn't talk, you know, going to school. And then it's just like something clicks.
Yeah.
And then it's just, it's not me, it's God talking through me. And, you know, that's how it goes. And it's just, it's incredible just to see. And then, you know, providing others that, you know, inspiring.
Absolutely.
In the end of the day, it's like you talk about how you can provide more value, and that provides more value to your audience.
Absolutely.
Which inspires them to create more content and just following their heart. And that's what I see from you too. You know, you're not going to find a, you know, more heartful photographer just going out there, just taking, because you love your craft.
Absolutely.
You are so passionate about those couples, and it's truly honored to see and work with,
Thanks, man.
in these weddings. So.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, brother.
So, anything else that you would want to provide the viewer out here? One last note, or
Well, I think that we talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think we went over a lot of things, and I think everything is good and straightforward.
Yep.
I wanted to make sure that anything that was asked was brutally honest, and I'm glad that you just asked me what you wanted to ask me. I'm glad none of this. By the way, Brandon asked me, "Hey, Chris, what is there anything I want me to ask?" I said, "Bro, ask me whatever you want to ask. I'm gonna be just brutally. I'm gonna be myself," and I'm glad it went like that.
Right.
But yeah, man. I would just say that for everybody out there, you know, especially the new people that want to get into this, what we do, make sure that you really think twice about what you're asking for, because everybody thinks that being a wedding photographer and a videographer, my God, what a dream. You know, these guys are living the life. They're, you know, it's not always like that. Is it a blessing what we do? Absolutely, it's a blessing what we do. We're very, very blessed to do what we do, and we can't forget about that.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of sacrifices that come with it. And I think that, you know, in order to be successful in what we do, we have to remember that a lot of our life is put to the side to keep people happy.
Yep.
You're in dinner, you got to answer your phone.
Yep.
You're in the restroom, you better run out fast and answer your phone. You're about to carry your baby to feed him. You better put him down and go answer your phone.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you this, I've heard it a lot of times. Family comes first. Yeah, family does come first. But your family won't eat if you don't work.
Yep.
So I will tell you this. Family comes first.
Yes.
But family doesn't pay the bills.
Yep.
Family will not put a roof over your head for your family.
True.
Your customers will.
Yep.
So my thing is that my biggest takeaway to everybody is, can forget about Sunday Night Football. You can forget about Netflix.
Yep.
You can forget about all these movies that you're going to do. And especially your first year, man. I would say this. Your first year, if you want to be a successful photographer, nothing should exist except photos. That's the only thing that should exist.
Ooh, that's
Same
good.
thing with video. And what do I mean by that? Okay, you work from 8 to 5. All right. You want to go to the gym? You better go in the morning from 6 to 5. Learn from Brandon, by the way. He runs in the morning. Good job, Brandon.
Yep.
So run, do whatever you want to do in the morning. But as soon as you get out of work at 5, make something to eat quick, pick something to eat up, whatever. Yep. Use 30 minutes. But from 5:30 to 12, 1 or 2, you should be working on your craft.
Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you this. For the first year, and my mom can tell you this, anyone that saw me through the very first year of my life, is I worked a corporate job, 60 hours, 50 to 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
I would get out of work, bro. I literally just eat something and go to a desk and close myself in my office.
Yep.
From like 6 p.m. all the way to 2 to 3 p.m. just watching YouTube videos on how to work your camera.
Yep.
What else to do? Like, like how do you set it up? Or
Yeah.
practicing on a teddy bear, practicing on a Barbie.
Yeah.
Okay? And then my weekends, I would say, you know what? I'm going to go shoot some landscapes. I'm going to go do this. I'd carry my camera everywhere I was. And then when my daughter would go to sleep,
Yeah.
I'd go back into the office and put more YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be in the restroom. I'd be watching YouTube. Yes, I'm in the restroom and I was watching YouTube. And I still do because I want to learn.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying, guys, is that you live and you breathe your craft.
Yep.
That's the only way to get better. But don't come to me to say that you want to be successful and all you want to do is work 8 to 5.
Yep.
Forget about it. You're going to fail.
Uh-huh.
You're going to suck. You might as well go do something else or stick to your job that you have.
Yeah.
But in the wedding industry, remember, everybody wants to take your spot.
Mm-hmm.
So every day you got to elevate.
Yep.
Every day you got to work hard. It's like me, a lot of people say, hey, well, Chris, Brandon, you've probably go through this. Mario from Izo goes through this. You guys, man, you're already there. You're at the top. Dude, for us, it's harder because we have to continue to produce even more to stay on the top.
Yep.
To stay where we want to go, to keep moving forward. And for new people, they could just start going, and they get there, and they could start replacing us, because people go out and people go in.
Uh-huh.
But in order to stay, maintain, and grow, you got to push yourself, brother. There's no days off.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
I've seen you. You went to your honeymoon vacation. You had your camera with you, too. Doing recordings. You're a smart guy.
Yep.
And that's a great damn thing about you. You don't stop working.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
This industry, in anything that you do, anything, I don't care if you work 8 to 5 and you want to be a supervisor.
Yeah.
You want to be a CEO. You want whatever you want to do. You got to go all out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
There's no days off. On your days off, learn how to be a better manager.
Yeah.
Learn how to manage people. Learn how, if you whatever you want to do, all I'm saying is don't stop.
Yep.
Well, Chris, I'm not going to have a life. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a life, especially the first year.
Mm-hmm.
Get over yourself. But if you're not willing to make that sacrifice, then don't get into business because having your own business, you're not going to last.
Yeah.
You're going to suck. And you're going to probably go back to 8 to 5 job. Sorry to bust bubbles, Bobby, but I got to say it,
It's true. It's sacrifice. I didn't pay myself the first 2 years. The amount of free gigs that I did in the first couple years just to get my name out and just work and YouTube videos, people don't realize the sacrifice. And I was talking to some other guy today, and it was just the same thing, or Justin. And he was the same thing. People just come in and they think they could just make this money off the top.
Absolutely.
But they don't realize what they have to do to get there and sacrifice and put the hours in and learn their craft and everything just keeps adding up.
You said something right now before I forget, and we'll finish it off here, is that you said free.
Yeah.
I like what you said.
Right.
A lot of people, there's a lot of people that, I'm not going to mention their names, but there's a lot of people that send me their photos to critique.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple of them. Right, that do that. And I have a group, and in that group, we all share photos and all this stuff and everything. And so is working for free good, right?
Yep.
That's a question that I always ask. I always say, what's in it for me?
Yep.
What's in it for CH Photography?
Yeah.
And my thing is this, is if it's slow and you're not doing anything,
Yep.
who cares if you shoot for free? You're learning. You're growing.
Yes.
You're pushing yourself. Because I'm going to tell you this. The more you give your time off, the more you're going to start sucking.
Mm-hmm.
If you consistently keep shooting, like me, what I do, and I'll let you guys know, I really don't care. But when there's time free, I start scheduling stuff that I personally want to work on.
Yeah.
And I don't charge. I just do it because I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to grow. I want to learn how to use that light better.
Yeah.
I want to do things ready so when the wedding season peak starts, I know exactly where I'm going, right? I know what I'm going to do. So I think that working for free is not valued the way it's supposed to be valued.
Yeah.
I think that working for free is a great damn thing because in honesty, you gain a lot working for free.
Yep.
Right? Like, for instance, if I know I wanted to get into videography, don't be surprised. I might call you one day and say, Brandon, I don't mind working for free. I'm going to go help you at your wedding. If you need help, I'll go help you. I just want to know how you do it.
Yep.
I don't care if I put in 40, 50, 60 hours. And I have people that work for me, bro, that sometimes cry for 30 minutes of pay, an hour of pay, or something. I'm stopped to think, all the followers that I have, you know how many of those followers would die to live in Las Vegas and just work 1 hour behind the lens with me? Just that. And these guys don't even know. And then you know what? A lot of these guys, and I'm not going to specifics, but I'm just being honest here. Like, we're at a wedding. Like, there's people that work for me.
Yeah.
We're at a wedding. And they're not learning anything. They're not paying attention. They're on their phone.
Yes.
I'm like, bro, if I had the opportunity to work with a photographer like myself back in the day when I first started, I'd be writing everything down, bro.
Yeah.
I'd be polishing the cameras. I'd be thinking, dude, what did he use? Let me look at this photo. I'd be asking him questions. Dude, here's a good word.
Yeah.
Sense of urgency.
Oh, there it is.
There's no sense of urgency.
Yep.
So working for free is a great damn thing. If anybody out there, man, calls Brandon and says, Brandon, I just want to help you out. I want to work with you. I want to learn from you. You know, there's people that actually pay for that.
Yeah.
And it's called tutorials. How to do this. Well, why pay if you could go help for free? You're right there in person, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's people that reach out to me and say, Chris, how do you do this? Dude, just go help me. You're going to learn how I do it, bro. Like,
exactly.
Like, you know, and you know what? Talking about that, I actually have 2 emails that I just responded to. Was it like 2 weeks ago when I was in Tulum for a wedding? A week ago. They want to work for free.
Yeah.
And they're so excited to work with me, and I'm going to let them work with me because they just want to learn. I said, dude, those are smart people. Yeah. They're very smart because they want to work all day because they want to learn everything, and they're going to write it down. Yep. So, yeah. Sorry for all the people that have helped me out, and I called you guys out. I love you guys, but I got to say what I got to say, man. Oh, yeah. It's the truth, man. I'm sorry. It is what it is. They already know how I am.
They already know this off the camera.
Yeah, they already like, shoot.
This
interview's going through, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but
yeah. Straight talker. But, man, but I think that's the same thing. Just help people out. Like, I've asked people, and they go, oh, I charge $100 an hour. Can I second? And I'm like, what? You don't realize what you have and what the opportunities in front of you.
Absolutely.
Because you can learn and how you're able to, like, it's a one-on-one masterclass because you get to see how you do it. And I don't think a lot of people realize, like, when you're first starting out, knowledge, learning from the best, that's what it's all about. And just putting yourself in the rooms or at the wedding to see, you're not just going to go out and film a wedding, but learn and then apply.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, 100%, brother.
Unreal, Chris. So if people can find you on your social media, could you give them a link just where to find you for wedding?
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's chris.chphotographer. Okay. So that's my Instagram. Facebook, CH Photography. Yeah. TikTok, CH Photography as well. I'm on there as well. And that's it. I'm not in anything else. I can't think of anything else. My website is ch/chphotography.com. We'll provide those links there. But yeah, that's the only place. Instagram's my biggest thing.
Yep.
That's where I think all of us post the most.
Yeah.
That's our most engagement there. But yeah, that's where they could find me, brother.
Sweet.
Send me a DM if anything. Anybody needs anything.
Let's go. Well, what a podcast today, Chris. And this was amazing. This is his first podcast, by the way, right?
Yeah, it is. It's my actual first one.
Being on video, it was such an honor, and this was so much fun. So
it was, dude. It was, man.
If anybody has any questions for Chris, just leave them in the comments, and he would love to get back to you. So we'll see you on the next episode. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and let's go.